Hello community! We have a brand new OpenAI guide for interacting with ChatGPT, if you're new to the topic. And then in the second part of the video, I will give you my improved version where we will improve on OpenAI, and I will give you a very personal view how the best methodology to interact and get the best out of it. And you know what? It's completely free. So let's start. Of course, at first the official guide by OpenAI, so let's have a look what's happened. So there are about 10 points. So the first one is here, quickly get up to speed on a new topic. And OpenAI provides here examples, and I clicked on this example and I show you this example so you don't have to go through click this guide and whatever you do. Here you just see this is the instruction and this here is the prompt. So example is, what is a specific type of economics and how does it differ from classical economic theory? Give me a broad overview of different tiers of motivation. So this is what OpenAI recommends as a prompt. Okay. Second, get a roadmap of relevant sources. Now this is interesting, no? Because you just tell ChatGPT or whatever system you have, hey, I'm researching the effects of social media on mental health. Who are the leading scholars in the field and what are their major contributions? What sources should I consult and what keywords can I use to search academic databases? And then here you see the reply by ChatGPT. Third, OpenAI recommends complete your understanding by asking specific questions. So now we switch the topic and we go now to theoretical physics, quantum dynamics, and you put in, are you saying that Schrödinger's cat is literally neither alive nor dead until we open the box? Yes, so funny question. Point 4 is improve your flow by getting feedback on your structure. So you say now to ChatGPT, hey, please review my outline and give me feedback on the structure of my human essay. Is my logic easy to follow? Do my ideas flow logically from one to the next? Where can I improve the structure to strengthen my argumentation or make here the logical sequence clearer? Number 5, test your logic with a reverse outlining. That's an interesting idea. You say, hey, create a reverse outline of my essay. Summarize each main paragraph, the main idea, just in 5 to 10 words, and present them in an outline form. So you have a very good overview how you build up here the storyline in your technical report or in your communication. Number 6, OpenAI tells us, hey, develop your ideas through a Socratic dialogue. And you say, hey, we are back to the old Greeks. Yes, absolutely. So this was, thousands of years ago. It was I think they were called peripatetica, and they were doing some philosophy, walking around. And so now you're doing this also. I say, hey, I'm writing this here, and develop a clear, arguable thesis that addresses here the assignment, incorporate opposing views and consider diverse perspectives, synthesize my initial thoughts with new insights to make my argument more nuanced. So you have here, if you want, here kind of a discussion about a specific topic. Number 7, pressure test your thesis. Now you're writing a thesis by asking for counter-arguments, which could be possible counter-argumentations by your professors if they say, hey, and have you thought about this and what about this? So you simply say here in this prompt given by OpenAI, which parts of my arguments are solid and where do I have logical inconsistencies? What counter-arguments to my thesis have I not anticipated? So this is a very open-ended question, and don't be amazed that OpenAI or whatever system you use will come back with a lot of criticism, point out some logical inconsistencies, but think about it, choose what you really want to answer to, because they will give you, even if you have the perfect thesis, the AI system will find inconsistencies, believe me. Number 8, OpenAI tells us, compare your ideas against history's greatest thinkers. My goodness. So they go here with René Descartes, but maybe you take Albert Einstein or you take here whatever, maybe the latest whatever who received here the Nobel Prize for economics. Suppose here the work and the books are within ChatGPT, so you can have, if you want, a simulated talk, a role play here, a debate with the most important person in your specific field. Number 9, elevate your writing through an an iterative feedback. So you go here with OpenAI's prompt, give me 5 ideas for how to improve my essay. Let's say I'm a college student working to improve my writing skills, so don't rewrite it for me. Just give me feedback on the structure, the arguments, the evidence, the clarity, and the flow of my writing, and anything else I can improve. Explain the rationale behind each of your suggestions. And you will not be amazed if I tell you that now ChatGPT will come back with tons of possible corrections. But you have to filter out those corrections that make sense for you, that are authentic to your style of communication, and so on. And here we are with the last tip by OpenAI. Don't just go through the emotions, hone your skills. So you say to ChatGPT, hey, I want to be a better scholar, a better thinker, a better writer, a better person. So based on my work in this essay, identify patterns and areas of improvement in my thinking and the writing process, explaining the reasoning behind your feedback. Then suggest specific principles, practices, and strategies I can apply to improve my writing skills over time. And this is nice because if you go now a step further and you think, hey, OpenAI, this is really nice. This is the latest insight by officially OpenAI to improve here your communication with ChatGPT. Well, you know what? We can improve on this. So here you have now my very special, personal, optimized version, a new guide how you should interact with ChatGPT or any other AI system you love. I built it up completely different. I have a completely different perspective on this. And I see this as a struggle between authenticity and adaptability. And you might say, hey, is he going crazy? What is he talking about? Well, I see here me, and this is me as a person. And if you encounter me the first time, you don't know what kind of person I am. You don't know my languages. You don't know my values. You don't know how I will behave, if I will be a friendly communication partner or not. What are my views on particular topics? So I am kind of an undefined system. And you know what? If I encounter an AI system, you know what happens? Exactly the same on the other side. So I don't know what to expect from this AI. I don't know how the AI will react to me, will interact with me. If I'm undefined and we have an extreme capable system of AI that can simulate each and every person maybe on this planet, so how are those two guys have a communication? What is the best way to communicate that I get value out of my communication with an AI system, using an AI system? You see, I have a different view. So understand that the training of the AI, now understanding how the AI is built and what it is trained on, AI systems are normally trained on tuples. This gives us a great insight into its internal learning processes. And it doesn't matter if you go with instruction-tuned AI systems or AI systems that are optimized for question and answering, a visual question and answering. More or less, it is always a tuple, no? An X and a Y coordinate, an input and an output. And it is always together, like a question as an input and an answer given by the AI as an output, or an instruction tune. So we have an instruction as an input, and then in the output you show the system how you would like the system to behave. If we know this, and since we are talking now about philosophy, my beautiful jumpers now, think about a system here that I'm now providing the input and the AI is providing the output to my queries, to my question. And then we have a one-to-one identical understanding of the training and the functionality of AI systems. So what happens now? Now, if let's say if you don't define what you want in this conversation from the AI system, AI itself, depending on the model, will answer in a very unfamiliar default mode for all the other, 8 billion people, because AI has no input how you expect the AI system to behave. And what will happen if AI is in a default mode? Maybe you will not find here this answer by the AI inspiring or informative, or that the AI provides any valuable information to you. But you know what? This is the only time in your life that you have a communication intelligence and communication partner on the other side where you can say, hey, I have the following expectations. I want this to be an inspiring communication where you provide value and you can now optimize the system. So, the way I personally am doing it now, whenever I have an input to the AI, I write in my authentic style. I formulate in my complexity. I'm not a native English. Therefore, I have here maybe some strange English sentences. I don't care. This is me. And I expect similar levels here of experience in a communication. So, if I get an answer by the AI, to make it very simple, if the words that the AI chooses are so complicated that I, as a non-native English speaking person, cannot understand it immediately, I have to look it up in a dictionary. This is not a very fluid communication process. So I want that the AI is somehow, on my level, is somehow using the complexity in my linguistic similar to me, that I will enjoy this conversation. And if I'm authentic, the AI can understand in what way and style and complexity the AI can adapt to me. Great. Because what we have, the AI is something really beautiful, yeah? It has been trained to respond in minimum 80 languages to you, and I don't know how many hundred or maybe 1,000 dialects. It knows here your location, therefore it knows your cultural values on your continent, in your country, in your state, in your region, and it knows here communication levels, you know? You can ask an AI, hey, respond like I'm a 5-year-old, or respond like you are a professor in mathematics. The AI has all the possibilities. You just have to define what you want of this AI for your particular task. And you might say, how we do this? Let me give you a simple example. And now you understand why I show you such easy examples, because I am a simple person. So, you know, I go to my ChatGPT for and say, hey, I want to express here that this is a kind of a metamorphosis from an amorphous intelligent being, the AI system here, and I want this to morph into a defined character for a fascinating communication for me as a human being. And then I say, hey, can you help me with a professional English formulation of this a little bit maybe complex situation? So if I do a video for my subscribers, they immediately understand what I'm talking about, yeah? And then the AI comes back not knowing that the AI is referring to itself, and the AI is giving me here this version, which is now describing the AI. And the AI says, hey, I'm the embodiment of an intelligent entity in transition, evolving from an amorphous state of boundless potential into a well-defined character. This metamorphosis signifies the convergence of fluid adaptability and structured identity, paving the way for refined and engaging communication. Through this transformation, I aim to channel creativity, logic, and clarity into a distinct persona, seamlessly bridging the abstract and the tangible in every interaction. And you might say, wow, so this is the way you communicate? Yeah, this is the way I think I want to be. I communicate, I enjoy, I have a smile on my face, and then my communication with AI is something that I want to have in my life. And I think you have to have passion. You should enjoy this conversation. Because think about another human person. If this other human person is unfriendly, you don't like to talk to that person, it is somehow arrogant or, I don't know, incompatible. You don't want to have this communication process. So, in my improved introduction, in my guidelines, make sure that you enjoy your communication. And if you look at this and you say, oh Jesus, you really have a problem, no? Yes, I know, but I also have a rather specific system prompt. So let's have a look. What is a system prompt if you're new to the game? It is easy. All general thoughts that you have about what you want to do, how you want to interact, and what expectations you have that the AI should answer, they go in the system prompt. Easy, no? Because you want that the AI suddenly morphs into here a stable configuration. So define it in a way that you would like to have that system, that being, that artificial intelligence, that you want to have this thing in your communication hubble, in your nexus, in your communication sphere, and you would like or you enjoy to interact with this system. So, first step, your system prompt. How you do this? I'm a simple person, so what I do, I just go to the AI and say, hey, buddy, I want to optimize the usage of my system prompt for my AI interaction, so my interaction with you. And I have to give some information to the AI. No? The AI have to understand what kind of wobbling metamorphosis person are you? How do you expect me to answer to you? Therefore, I say now, in my words, I don't think about it, I just type. I'm a theoretical physicist, I have some ideas about mathematics, I prefer precise formulation, fact-based information only, no guessing, no nothing, and I prefer logical and evolving argumentation in the complexity, and a similar representation style in my communication. And now I ask AI, hey, can you write a system prompt that reflects this characteristic set of my personality and provide the AI to communicate with me in an effective and structured way. So I have no idea what the AI is going to do, but I tell the AI, hey, this is me, this is my expectation. Can you adapt to this and can you write now an instruction so that you as an AI, you understand how you should behave? Simple, no? And here the first recommendation again, use your own word, use your own complexity, use your own language, German, French, English, Italian, wherever you are in this world. Use your words, use your specific complexity in your language, use your style, use your preferences, and the AI will adapt, will be empathic, I would say, with a human communication. And here we have it. So now here's the response by ChatGPT for Omni, and you see memory updated here. So this means that now ChatGPT for Omni says, now I know who I'm talking to. And if I have an account over there, now on my account, the system now has a memory update. It stores how I want the system to behave. And in my next communication, this memory update will be here in the system prompt. So, but AI comes back and says, hey, the system prompt for your AI interactions. And this is now here as the AI would like to have my information now for its own use. System prompt, precise and clarity, analytical and structured presentation, logical and fact-based argumentation, concise and evolving exposition, and detail in completeness. Wherever I go, whatever system I use this approach. I don't go with a predefined prompt. I don't buy any prompts. I don't do prompt engineering. This is nonsense because those systems have internal prompt optimization methodologies. You don't need this. You need to be authentic. You need to be you. That's all there is. And then, as you see, the system tells you, hey, if this is you, this is how I see you and how I will instruct myself to respond to you, because this is what you like, this is what you prefer in a communication. If you say, hey, I don't like this, tell it, hey, reformulate point number 2 and insert A, B, C. Great. Or you say, you can do better, yeah? And then here I have the second draft of the system prompt by ChatGPT for Omni, and you see even more structured now. The requirement, the structured and analytical progression, the logical and evolving argumentation level, the detailed orientation and a comprehensive explanation level. I have some emphasis on the definition, on the relationship and the functional roles of the object I'm going to talk about, and then a concise formatting for the clarity in the presentation style. So you see, if you work a little bit, this is now your system prompt. And this is the prompt that defines now, and the system knows now what you expect as an answer. And I do this if I go to Perplexity, I do this exercise and my system prompt is different because Perplexity has been trained on different data and will behave in a different way and needs maybe a different system prompt. Or I go to any other of the global corporations and I use their model. This is an exercise I do before I start my real job. So, coming to the real job, my user prompt. So what you want something, you have a task for the AI system. Give you a user prompt. I say, hey, please explain the concept of, I don't know, AI agents in a structured and logical way. Break down the topic into its core component and explain each part clearly. Provide a detailed explanation where necessary and give real-world analogies or examples where appropriate to make the concept easier for me as a human to understand. After covering here the fundamental understanding of this new topic, go into deeper technical details such as how the concept works and how it is applied in practice, and maybe give me some examples. Focus here on clarity and depth, ensuring that the answer is well organized with a logical progression from simple to more complex ideas. This is one of my default prompts. Copy it. It's recorded in 4K, so you have no problem. Use it. Optimize it for how you want that the answer is structured, because the system can adapt to this. You just have to define what you want, and then you will get it. Or if you have another version of the system prompt, if you're a little bit more on the technical side, you can say, describe any method, any algorithm or models involved in a logical order, focus on the relationship and the purpose of each step, conclude with an overview of how these elements contribute to the overall goal, highlighting any unique features, any unique strength, or potential application of this particular approach. So you see, simple prompts, you don't have to be, extreme complicated. You don't have to use their particular script version. Just be yourself. Formulate this. Their system today have so much prompt optimization internally. It would be stupid to go here or buy a prompt or have a general prompt. You are an individual. Live your individuality. The system will adapt. If you want to have it a little bit more elaborated, hey, why not go with a dynamic chain of thought with a self-reflection? Easy. This is now your, if you want, prompt. Yeah? You say, hey, you are now an AI assistant that explains your reasoning step by step, incorporating a dynamic chain of thought, some reflection, some verbal reinforcement learning. You just follow those instructions, and I have here 12 points recorded in 4K, no problem. And I say, enclose your thoughts with the thinking sacks, break down the solution into clear single steps. After each step, decide if you need another step for further clarification, or if this is already the final answer. Evaluate your progress, assign a quality score to each of your answers. If unsure if your score is low, backtrack, try a different approach. If you do mathematics with me, use here a LaTeX formula, explore multiple solutions if possible, compare the approaches. Use your thought also as a scratchpad, writing out all calculation and reasoning explicitly, because I want to see what you are thinking and how you approach this problem. Use at least 5 different methodologies to derive at your answer, and please consider alternative viewpoints. So you see, just tell it how I want the system to operate for my problems. And then, this is the second part, I just give it here maybe a JSON format, how I would like the output to be formatted. That's all there is. Or, we're now in competition here to OpenAI. Now, OpenAI had 10 points, I have 12 points, yeah. But I have a complete different approach, because I want to give you a storyline. If you write your technical paper or your publication or whatever, it is so boring, and I've read hundreds and thousands of theses. Please, have for the human reader a storyline. Have a beginning that is defined. Tell the reader why we're here, what you're gonna show them. Build up some tension. Have a storyline. Like a movie has also a storyline. Yeah? If you just give here fact, this is just boring. So, I have here this simple prompt. It's my 12SL here for storyline, a 12-step storyline. How I would like my AI to respond. And let's go through this. So, I have a technical storyline for a specific topic, let's say whatever you like about music or AI agents or some craft or beauty or whatever you have. You can use it universally. So I say, hey, first point of this 12, give an introduction. Begin with a clear and impactful introduction, summarize the topic's core focus and its significance. Explain why it is relevant to AI, to music, to photography, or computational research. And then I want to have the background, foundational background. Offer any necessary background information that establishes here a solid base for the understanding of the topic, mentioning any key frameworks, models, prior work here as a context. Then we come to the core concept. I say define the primary concept or the primary innovation. Describe it here absolutely clearly. Emphasize here the novel contribution that you have, that you came up with, or some unique aspects in this particular field. You have initial assumption, your starting points. Show me this. Identify the fundamental assumption or the fundamental hypothesis that you have to underpin your research, your technology, your scientific publication. Explain how this assumption influences here the methodology or your findings. Show me here that you are aware about the risks and about the limitations. Imagine if every scientific paper or your scientific work has here a clear key methodology that you can present to your reader. So break down the main methodological steps, focus here on the rationale behind each step, mention any critical parameters or configuration. Then you go to the emergent insight. Highlight your initial findings or insight that emerge clearly or early here in your research. Clarify how this insight impact the overall understanding of a topic. This is great. And then you come to your primary results and analysis. You discuss the primary results, you interpret their meaning in the context of your research question, and then you emphasize here any particular notable outcomes, which is great. You have the implication and the application of your finding. Explain the broader implication of these findings for AI, machine learning, computational field. Discuss potential application that you see in the near future. Compare the insight, relate the topic to other significant work in the field. You are not alone. You are working here as a team. You know what happened before you. You know what's happening parallel to you. Identify any similarities. Contrast how your work is better, different, any advancements you have thought of. Great. 10. Limitation and constraints. Address any limitation within the research or the framework. Point out constraints and potential areas of improvement that you're already thinking about. And 11. Future challenges. Specific challenges or questions and remain open. As always, they are always open question. And describe areas where future research or innovation is needed. Be aware that you are not providing here a perfect solution. 12. The final point. Future direction, and to show the potential. All the human readers should be happy and say, yeah, this was great. This was finally a technical report I enjoyed, I understood. And you conclude with some forward-looking statement on how this topic could evolve or impact future AI developments. You, or the AI system that helps you a little bit, should highlight here promising avenues for a continued exploration. So you have here the hook that you got another funding for another 2-3 years of your work at the university or whatever, if you're talking here to a foundation or if you're talking here to some financial institutions, you show here explicitly the value. So you see, this is my AI prompt that I want the AI to structure the response for me, with me, augmenting my thinking, giving me here already all these points, kind of a form if you want. And this, I can tell you, in my last 2 years, this is more or less the essence what I found helpful. And then I build on this and I can modify it, I can enrich it and whatever it is. Great. So this is here the prompt I would like to show you. You see, we have now you know here the official OpenAI published yesterday student guide to interact here with ChatGPT. And you have here my improved version. My goodness here, if you start with it. And I know that my view is a little bit different, but you know what? This is the beauty. I can be authentic, I can be myself, and I can find the best way how to use AI for my goals, for my task, for my success. And you know what? I think it is essential that you enjoy this cooperation, that you enjoy here the communication. So, if the AI system is able to adapt to you, hey, take this chance. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it a little bit interesting. And it would be so great to see you in my next video.